Amazing. Folks are joining in. All right. We still have some folks joining in, but I am going to get us started in an effort to keep us on time and on schedule. So hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Today's session is Understanding Title Metrics, and this is our third and final webinar in our Marketers Summer Lunch series, which is a set of mini virtual sessions designed for publishers who want to learn how to use Edelweiss to make their title stand out and reach buyers, acquisitions folks, and other publishing professionals. My name is Deidre Dumpson, and I am the Client Success Director here at Edelweiss. A few housekeeping items before we get started. My colleague, Nikki Seclair, is here today to help monitor the chat. Feel free to post your questions, comments, or just say hi, especially if you are a familiar name. We'll also leave some time at the end to do a Q&A. And lastly, this webinar is being recorded, and we will be sharing the recording with all registrants along with documentation to support what we are going to cover. A quick note before we jump in, don't feel like you have to memorize everything we talk about today. This session is designed to take you through information at a high level and to give you some ideas and guidance on what's possible with Edelweiss. Take notes on ideas that excite you, and we'll make sure to include how-to resources in the chat throughout the session and in the post-webinar email. Those resources will include a training page created to complement this webinar series, which will have self-paced learning materials for all the topics covered. If you'd like, you can scan the QR code on this slide to open that right now, and I'll pause for a couple seconds to give y'all the opportunity to do so. And take a quick drink. Okay. So, what are we going to talk about today? In our last session, we covered some ideas for additional collateral that you can add to your title listings to take them to the next level. We also went through some of our advertising options that you could take advantage of once you have some artwork in which you can use to reach influential book people. In today's session, I'll provide a high-level exploration of the tools we have available for you that will help you gauge if your investments into your titles have impacted their reach and the level of engagement they receive. First, I'll talk through some exciting new metrics we released within Ad Center. These metrics will provide clarity on if you are getting folks to your titles. Next, we'll dig into DRC Admin, Analytics, and 360, where you will be able to leverage metrics to not only determine the impact on engagement, but also where there are opportunities for further investments. So let's get into it. If you are not familiar, the Advertising Center is a simplified way to book and manage your newsletter advertisements, including booking options for feature titles, our weekly greeting newsletters, community newsletters, and our monthly librarian and bookseller newsletters. We have just released our Ad Center reporting, where you will be able to see how many newsletter advertising you booked in the last year. Where you will be able to see how newsletter advertising you booked in the last year performed. What you're seeing on this slide are the definitions for the various metrics we provide. First is open rate, which measures the percentage of emails opened compared to the total sent. Impressions, which is the total number of users who viewed the email. Unique clicks is showing you the number of email recipients who clicked on your ad. Click-through rate is telling you the unique clicks of your ad divided by overall impressions. And status just refers to the newsletter send status and the availability of data. So you'll see if it's not sent yet, in progress, or if there's data currently available for you to review. Once you're in Advertising Center, which can be found at the top of your Edelweiss Plus page or by heading directly to advertising.edelweiss.plus, you should now see a reporting menu option at the top of your Ad Center homepage. If you click that, you'll find the past newsletter advertisements you've booked from 2024 on and the corresponding metrics. If you're not seeing any of the buttons that I mentioned today, and you're going to hear me say this repeatedly throughout the session, do not worry. You can reach out to us at support@abovethetreeline.com, and someone from our team will be able to jump in and assist and help with getting any of these buttons activated for you. If you need to, you can search for an ad using the search bar at the top of the reporting page. Ad Center reporting is a great way to determine if the newsletter advertising you booked has gotten more folks to discover your titles in Edelweiss. By clicking View within any particular line, as shown here, you can see and view more details about your advertisement. If this is an ad that has passed already, you can gather insight on what design tactics you want to continue with or let go of. If the ad is upcoming, the edit button can be selected to upload or replace images and links. Now, let's talk through Digital Review Copy Admin. Most folks may be familiar with utilizing review copies for generating interest, reviews, and sales. Today, I'll be digging into the key performance indicators or KPIs available within the DRC admin module that will allow you to see if that interest has in fact been generated. So you may recall in our 101 session, Allison named review copies as a major marketing resource. The DRC admin module allows you to assess how disseminating a review copy impacted the reach and engagement with your titles. To get to the DRC admin module from Core Edelweiss, first click your initials or your profile photo at the top right of your page, and then select Administration from that small menu that appears. Again, if you're not seeing any of the buttons or menu items that I'm mentioning today, please reach out to us at support@abovethetreeline.com and we will help you get those things activated. So once you're in the administration module, on the left menu, if you expand review copies and select activity, you'll be able to view a full or filtered report of download activity for all of your review copies. For each line, you'll find user details like account and role and contact information, date of download, and whether or not they submitted a review. In this view, there are a number of filters you can use to get to the reporting you are looking to find. You can drill into imprints, individual users, titles, and date range. You can also resequence your results by downloads, title, account, or user. As with most reporting in Edelweiss, you can even export this list to Excel where you can share out with other team members, filter down even further, and utilize the information provided however you see fit. Now let's talk about reviews. In this same administration window, if you expand the review section in that left-hand menu and select Administer, you'll be taken to a screen where you'll be able to see submitted reviews for your title. The reviews report can be filtered down by time period, title, or ISBN. And once you have the filtered list you were in search of, you can click the total review count or the title itself to open all reviews. You can also click on the thumbs up, IndieNext, or library reads count to see only those reviews nominations. Similar to the download activity reporting, you will get access to user details and contact information that you can leverage, but you will also be able to send a message directly from this module to an individual reviewer by clicking the mail button within the line of your choosing. Allison had previously mentioned featuring a review in our first session. And this admin module is where you'll be able to select featured reviews as well as edit them down should you need to. To close out the session, I wanted to share some major Edelweiss tools that will provide you with some KPIs or key performance indicators, as I said before, for title engagement. With Publisher 360 and analytics, you'll be able to get a sense of your marketing strengths and where there are opportunities for further investment. Along with that, you'll be able to coordinate and build out account target lists all in one place. So let's dive in. As a reminder, Edelweiss really is the central hub for the book industry with a large mix of booksellers, librarians, reviewers, readers, and publishers all using Edelweiss to market, sell, discover, and order new titles. With Publisher 360, you'll be able to see of those user types who has engaged with your titles and how. Edelweiss 360 for publishers surfaces engagement data about your titles and catalogs, such as views, shares, downloads, reviews, shelves, orders, and more. It also allows you to identify target influencers in the Edelweiss community that may help you reach your marketing goals. To get to your Pub 360 portal, simply click on the 360 icon located at the top of your screen within Edelweiss Core. Once you click that button, your 360 portal will appear. Over the next couple of slides, I'll provide a preview of what's available when you search through catalogs and titles within 360. But I wanted to quickly touch on the high-level summary reporting available for each of our genre communities, as well as our professional communities, like the ABA, regional associations, BNN, library reads, library journal reviewers, and many more. You can quickly see of the engagement happening within these communities, what percentage is with your titles. You can also quickly see which review copies you've made available to each of these communities through auto approval, allowing community users to access your DRCs without needing to request them from you. Marketing professionals can leverage Edelweiss 360 for publishers to monitor KPIs for their title marketing, such as number of reviews, number of downloads, and users that add titles to their shelves in Edelweiss. Pull up any current or past catalog to get an understanding of engagement across an entire catalog or season of titles. And you can also resort the list of titles by download, notes, tags, shelves, reviews, order, quantities, etc. Compare these high-level metrics to the marketing investments that you've made to determine your strengths, but also clearly see where there is opportunity to shine more light on titles that aren't achieving the goals set for them. With Pub 360, you can also drill into individual titles and access lists of targets or influencers that may be interested in your titles based on the comps associated with it and reach out to them directly through Edelweiss. A quick note that accessing contact information for and reaching out to users is a feature only available with 360 Premium subscriptions. With free access, you'll be able to see which user types are engaging with your titles, but you won't be able to access contacts and messaging. Lastly, let's touch on Edelweiss Analytics. For those maybe not familiar, Edelweiss Analytics is made up of tools that are aimed at helping you analyze stock at your analytics subscribing accounts to help ensure that all those books on their shelves are working for them and for you. You'll be able to see an aggregated list of best-selling titles, most ordered, not yet published titles, and more from the analytics using accounts that you sell or market to. You'll also be able to see market performance data for your titles, as well as performance at specific accounts and locations. In essence, analytics allow your marketing decisions to be aligned with your sales team and sales data. What I want to highlight for this session in particular is the cross-star data available to you with analytics. In the expanded title view, if you select cross-store data, You can see a list of stores and their overall performance with specific titles. There are a number of filters, market, time frame, and account status that you can use to customize your report. And you can use these reports for review copy suggestions to your accounts, target lists, and more. And that's it. Before we tackle the Q&A, here are a couple Q&R codes that will allow you to subscribe to any relevant newsletters and download our marketing kit. Subscribing to newsletters is a great way to gather helpful tips and tricks for reporting and metrics, as well as see how others are advertising and get a feel for your newsletter options with Edelweiss. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to our Publisher Marketing Professionals email list to learn advertising tips and be the first to know about special promotions and discounts. And our marketing kit has all the pricing and extra information on everything Edelweiss advertising. In the chat, you can also find a link to our publisher landing page where you can get more information about the products mentioned today, digital review copies, Edelweiss 360 and analytics for publishers. Don't worry if you miss these and forget to grab them from the chat. We'll also make sure to share them with you in our post-webinar email. Okay, so now I am going to invite my wonderful colleague, Gabriella, to come on screen and help tackle any questions that may have come up in the chat. Feel free to post any questions that you have now, and we'd be happy to answer them for you.
Okay, been looking through this, and there's a couple of questions about upgrading to 360 Premium. So if people were looking to get like pricing specific to them, what would be like the best way to go about getting that?
Yeah, so if you reach out to our support team at support@abovethetreeline.com, then someone can help you and reach out with pricing information and talk with you about next steps about upgrading to premium.
Okay. Here's a question about ReaderLink is an important account for us as they work with many different retailers. Can you tell me how to use analytics within ReaderLink? Do you have a follow-up question about what we're trying to get to there?
Yeah, sorry, ReaderLink.
No, Jonathan, could you give us just like a little more information about what you're looking to hear? And then we'll tackle that question.
Yeah, of course.
Because the analytics is Edelweiss specific, so you access it on our site. Do you have any ROI stats on responses to publishers reaching out to booksellers through those various means described, i.e. emailing booksellers through Edelweiss because they reviewed a title? I want to make sure booksellers are likely to engage with those and that it's not just spam in the ether, though I love the idea.
Yeah, so I don't have exact stats on how on the success of individual publishers' impacts on reaching out to people via email. I also don't have stats on the impact of notifications. We only have the anecdotal feedback of the benefits of being able to share review copies that are specific to the engagement that they're seeing from booksellers. So sending a book based off of reviews that a bookseller has submitted previously. I think we've always heard from retailers that it is incredibly exciting, and that's a huge motivation for submitting reviews in Edelweiss, is to be able to get unique and specific recommendations based off of their taste and what they normally hand sell. I know that's not a specific metrics answer to your question. Oh, hey, Brucka, I didn't even realize that was you who asked that. But I hope that provides some insight.
Awesome. Okay. Here's a question. We have 360. Is there a way to get email addresses of people who have accessed and or downloaded our book? Is 360 the best place to get those email addresses, or do you think they should go through like the admin app?
Yeah, so pulling contact information will probably be best via the admin app. I do believe you see emails in 360 as well, but I don't want to lie, so I will confirm that.
Um, there are a couple questions about accessing the other recordings for this series. They're all on the Edelweiss for Marketers training page that Nikki shared at the beginning of this, and that we will email out after this session. And that page will be updated with the recording of this session, which is the only one that's missing. Let's see. Do you have any statistic, anecdotal or otherwise, about the best timeline for uploading a DRC?
Yeah. I know that traditionally we normally see review copies being uploaded in preparation for catalogs and markups to be shared, since they're a huge asset for retailers and acquisitions folks who are ordering to be able to review a title as they're deciding how many quantities they want to place in their frontlist orders for their store. So I would say usually aligning your DRC uploads with when you are planning or when there is a plan for your sales teams to start activating markups in catalogs for a particular season would be a good idea. I don't know, Gabriella or Dickie, if you have other suggestions, but
No, that makes sense to me. That sounds right. And there's a bit of a discussion talking about accessing those email addresses for people who have downloaded titles. You might encounter that activity area is blank, but Lauren is totally right. Hi, Lauren, to say make sure you toggle all under the view activity near the top in the admin screen, because sometimes, yeah, these things are set, so you might only be looking at activity for people who are in your contacts.
exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so Sarah says that everything is still blank, so I'm sure, Sarah, if you email in support, they'll take a look to see what might be going on. Is there a way to find review copy downloads requests for titles older than a year? Is there a limit in the admin window for how far back we'll go for activity?
I do believe it's 365 days, unless I'm confusing that with another section of the site. Nikki. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's right. It's 365.
Yeah.
But our data team can pull further back if you need, just email us.
Yes, exactly. You can always reach out to us because we can pull a report for you if you need to.
Are there other questions? Something that I wanted to point out, Deidre, because I know it's come up, we're very excited about having that reporting in Ad Center. Do you know how long will it take once your banner ad has been emailed out to see the data? Do you have a sense?
Yes, I believe that it takes 48 hours for that
Okay.
data to start to populate
So
within.
don't freak out if it's been 6 hours and you don't see anything there. Okay.
Yes, so we like to give folks an opportunity, knowing that there are a ton of folks who don't open the email right away. So we feel like the 48-hour window will give folks an opportunity to get more clarity or realistic data and statistics on the performance of their ads.
Okay, there's a question about the best email to use when asking for admin support or record help. That's support@abovethetreeline.com. You can email them in and Nikki got that. Are there any other questions? We have a little bit more time, but if you can't think of them right now or they come up later, just use that support@abovethetreeline.com email.
Yes, and I am slightly worried that I forgot to mention this. So if it's repetitive, then don't hold me to that. But I did want to point out that this is just the first phase of our ad center reporting. And so right now you will only be able to view reporting for advertisements that you as an individual have booked via Edelweiss. If you are hoping to see reporting from your fellow colleague or reporting for an ad that was booked, but you know that another colleague booked it, you're going to have to request that they send over that reporting to you. So sorry, my allergies are bothering me, and so I sound awful, but that is something we're hoping to widen access in future rollouts and updates of our ad center reporting. But just so you know, if you go in there right now and you're like, I know we booked ads, but I'm not seeing any reporting, it could be because you weren't the user that booked it.
Two other questions I see come in, and we'll see if we can tackle them both.
Yeah.
Do you know if Edelweiss will plan to create an equivalent to NetGalley's widget?
Yeah, Sarah, if you want to reach out, I would love more insight into like what NetGalley's widget looks like and how it performs and what the differences are. That would be great feedback for us to have.
And then I have a question. Is there a way to export the email contacts of a community?
No.
Yeah.
You can export their like names and stats with, I think, a premium 360 subscription, but I don't believe the email address is included there. Just kind of like their name, their organization, and number of download shelves, etc.
Thank you, Nikki.
Really helpful. Just some more information from Sarah on that widget, which we'll note, something that allows anyone with a link to download it, like an open widget tied to an email address associated with their account.
Yeah, so the way that we have it set up right now is you can auto approve individuals via 360, which will then, whenever they go into Edelweiss and so you can auto approve them prior to sharing the link so that when they click the link, they automatically have access to that review copy. But that is not tied to like as soon as you send or share a link to a review copy, it will not auto approve them that way.
Can you auto approve only for a single title?
Yes, you can.
I think we only have a minute left, so we might have to. Sorry, the question about where you would do that. So
yeah, you can do that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna cut. Go ahead, Deidre.
No, I was gonna say you can do that in the 360 portal, where you can select auto approving for one specific title, and you can also I believe do that in the DRC admin module as well for an individual user, whereas in 360 it would be if you wanted to do that for an entire community, you can auto approve them for a single title. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that sounds right. And if there are questions about privileges or who is capable of doing that, which is there's a little bit of discussion in the chat, just email support and we'll let you know or walk you through the process.
Yes, so auto approving is a privilege. Again, if anything we mention here, you're noticing you cannot access it or you're not seeing the button for it, you can totally reach out to us at support@abovethetreeline. It could have to do with privileges or it could have to do with something else, and we'll point you in the right direction. Okay. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us this afternoon, whether you've made it to only one or all of our sessions. We hope we've provided you with concrete action items that will support your marketing goals. If you have follow-up questions or would like to just chat through product and advertising opportunities to better understand what is right for you, you can reach out to us at marketing@abovethetreeline.com. And lastly, I want to call out that this series was brought to you by the feedback we heard across a number of marketing professionals that wanted to understand leveraging Edelweiss better. We highly, highly encourage you to take the time to fill out our education survey so that we can continue to cater our education to your needs. Again, thank you. Thank you for joining us and giving us some of your afternoon today. And I look forward to seeing folks at any fall shows that you will be at.